First contact. The gleaming spires of New Geneva stretched toward the sky, a testament to humanity's resilience in the face of climate change and global upheaval. Dr. Amelia Chen straightened her uniform as she strode through the corridors of the United Earth Government headquarters. Today was the day everything would change. Dr. Chen, they're waiting for you in the council chamber, her assistant, Marcus, said as he fell into step beside her. The alien delegation arrived 10 minutes ago. Amelia nodded, her heart racing. After decades of searching the stars, humanity had finally made contact with an advanced alien civilization, the Galactic Council, they called themselves. And now, Earth was on the verge of joining their interstellar community. As she approached the massive doors to the council chamber, Amelia took a deep breath. She had been chosen to lead Earth's diplomatic team due to her expertise in xenobiology and her calm demeanor under pressure. Both skills would be put to the test today. The doors swung open, revealing a scene that took Amelia's breath away. Gathered around a circular table were beings of all shapes, sizes, and colors. Some were vaguely humanoid, while others defied easy description. At the head of the table sat a tall, willowy creature with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to contain swirling galaxies. "Welcome, Dr. Chen," the being said, its voice resonating in Amelia's mind rather than her ears. "I am High Counselor Zixara of the Galactic Council. We are pleased to formally welcome humanity to the greater galactic community." Amelia bowed slightly. "Thank you, High Counselor. On behalf of the United Earth Government and all of humanity, we are honored to be here." As she took her seat, Amelia couldn't help but marvel at how far they'd come. Just a century ago, humans were still debating the existence of alien life. Now, they were sitting at a table with representatives from dozens of alien species. High Counselor Zixara raised a hand, and a holographic display sprang to life in the center of the table. Before we proceed with Earth's formal induction into the Galactic Council, there are certain protocols and agreements we must discuss. For the next several hours, Amelia and her team navigated a complex web of interstellar politics, trade agreements, and cultural exchange programs. The aliens were particularly interested in human art and music, expressing amazement at the diversity of Earth's cultures. "Your species has accomplished much in such a short time," remarked a squat, reptilian being named Crix. "From your first radio transmissions to faster-than-light travel in less than 2 centuries. Most impressive." Amelia smiled. Humanity has always been driven by curiosity and the desire to explore. We're eager to learn from the Council and contribute our own knowledge and experiences. As the meeting progressed, Amelia began to notice subtle tensions between some of the alien factions. The Vorkax, a militant species with exoskeletons that looked like living armor, seemed particularly wary of Earth's inclusion. "The humans are untested," the Vorkax representative growled. "How can we be sure they will adhere to Council laws and not become a threat to galactic stability?" High Counselor Zixara's eyes flashed. "The Council has thoroughly vetted Earth's application. We believe humanity has much to offer our community." Amelia leaned forward. "If I may, High Counselor, while it's true that humanity is new to the galactic stage, we have a long history of overcoming challenges through cooperation and innovation. We don't seek to disrupt, but to learn and contribute." The Vorkax representative snorted, but said nothing more. Amelia made a mental note to keep a close eye on their delegation in future negotiations. As the meeting drew to a close, High Counselor Zixara stood. "We have much still to discuss, but I believe we have made excellent progress today. Dr. Chen, we would like to formally extend an invitation for Earth to establish an embassy on Centauri Prime, the seat of the Galactic Council." Amelia's heart soared. This was more than they had hoped for in their initial meeting. "We would be honored, High Counselor. Thank you." As the alien delegates filed out of the chamber, Amelia's assistant Marcus approached, his eyes wide with excitement. "Dr. Chen, this is incredible. An embassy on Centauri Prime. Do you know what this means for us?" Amelia nodded, her mind already racing with the implications. It means we have a seat at the table, Marcus. A chance to shape the future of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy. As they left the council chamber, Amelia couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, but the path ahead was far from clear. There would be challenges, misunderstandings, and likely conflicts. But there would also be wonders beyond imagination, scientific breakthroughs, and the potential for true galactic cooperation. The next day, as Amelia prepared to address the people of Earth about the historic meeting, she thought about the responsibility that now rested on her shoulders. She would need to bridge the gap between human and alien cultures, navigate complex interstellar politics, and ensure that humanity's voice was heard in the cosmic chorus of civilizations. As she stepped up to the podium, cameras from around the world focused on her. Amelia took a deep breath and began to speak. People of Earth, today marks the dawn of a new era for humanity. We are no longer alone in the universe. We have been welcomed into a community of alien civilizations, each with their own rich histories, cultures, and technologies. This is a moment of unprecedented opportunity, but also great responsibility. She paused, letting the weight of her words sink in. In the coming months and years, we will face challenges we can scarcely imagine. We will encounter ideas and technologies that will transform our understanding of the universe. But through it all, we must remember the qualities that have brought us this far: our curiosity, our adaptability, and our unwavering spirit of exploration. As Amelia continued her speech, outlining the broad strokes of the agreements made with the Galactic Council, she could feel the excitement building around the world. Social media exploded with reactions, scientists began speculating about potential technological exchanges, and world leaders scrambled to position their nations in this new galactic landscape. In the days that followed, Earth was abuzz with activity. Universities quickly established xenobiology and xenopolitics departments. Tech companies began exploring potential applications of alien technologies, and cultural exchanges flourished as humans eagerly consumed alien art, music, and literature. But not everyone welcomed this new era with open arms. Protests erupted in some cities, with people fearing the loss of human identity or the potential for alien exploitation. Conspiracy theories spread like wildfire, claiming that the aliens had ulterior motives for contacting Earth. Amelia knew that these were just the first ripples of the massive changes to come. As she prepared for her first diplomatic mission to Centaur Prime, she couldn't help but wonder what challenges and wonders awaited humanity among the stars. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: humanity's destiny now lay beyond the confines of their home planet. The age of Earth was over. The age of the galaxy had begun. Cultural clash. The sleek diplomatic shuttle glided through the iridescent nebula surrounding Centaur Prime, the seat of the Galactic Council. Dr. Amelia Chen stood at the viewport, marveling at the alien world growing larger by the second. Massive orbital structures surrounded the planet, a testament to the advanced technology of the Council races. "Quite a sight, isn't it?" remarked Ambassador Jahan Kapoor, joining Amelia at the window. "Hard to believe we're the first humans to see this in person." Amelia nodded, her excitement tinged with nervousness. "It's breathtaking. I just hope we're prepared for what comes next." As their shuttle docked at the sprawling Galactic Embassy complex, Amelia and her team were greeted by a delegation of alien diplomats. Leading them was Nyx Lara, a centurion whose shimmering translucent skin seemed to ripple with starlight. "Welcome to Centaur Prime," Nyx Lara said, her telepathic voice warm in their minds. "We are honored to host Earth's first embassy to the Galactic Council." The next few days were a whirlwind of meetings, tours, and cultural exchanges. Amelia and her team worked tirelessly to establish Earth's presence in the complex web of galactic politics. But for every step forward, it seemed they took 2 steps back, stumbling over unfamiliar protocols and alien customs. During a formal dinner with representatives from various council races, Amelia accidentally caused offense by using her left hand to accept a ceremonial gift from a Vorkax diplomat. The insectoid alien's mandibles clicked in agitation, and it took all of Ambassador Kapoor's diplomatic skills to smooth over the situation. "I'm sorry," Amelia whispered to Kapoor as they left the dinner. "I had no idea the left hand was considered unclean in Vorkax culture." Kapoor patted her shoulder reassuringly. "We're all learning, Dr. Chen. The important thing is to adapt quickly and show our willingness to respect alien customs." As the days wore on, the challenges mounted. The human delegation struggled with the Council's complex voting procedures, which involved not just verbal agreements, but also pheromone signaling and telepathic consensus, communication methods humans simply didn't possess. During a crucial vote on interstellar trade regulations, Earth's voice was nearly left out entirely because Amelia's team didn't realize they needed to emit specific pheromones to signal their readiness to participate. "This is ridiculous," grumbled Marcus, Amelia's assistant, after another frustrating council session. "How are we supposed to compete on an even playing field when we can't even communicate properly?" Amelia sighed, feeling the weight of their struggle. "We need to find a way to bridge this gap. Our future in the galactic community depends on it." Inspiration struck during a late-night brainstorming session. Amelia proposed the development of a universal translation and communication device that could interpret and replicate alien communication methods for humans. "If we can't evolve pheromone glands or telepathy overnight, we'll have to use technology to level the playing field," she explained to her team. The proposal was met with enthusiasm, and soon, Earth's brightest minds were collaborating with alien scientists to create the device. It was a monumental undertaking, requiring the integration of advanced AI, quantum entanglement communication, and synthetic biology. Months passed and tensions continued to simmer. Some council races, particularly the Vorkax, grew increasingly impatient with what they saw as human incompetence. Rumors began to circulate that Earth's membership might be reconsidered. Amelia worked tirelessly, dividing her time between diplomatic duties and overseeing the development of the communication device. She knew they were in a race against time. Finally, after countless setbacks and breakthroughs, the device was ready for testing. Dubbed the Babel implant, it was a small, organic computer that could be safely integrated with the human nervous system. On the day of the demonstration, the council chamber was packed with representatives from every member race. Amelia stood before them, her heart pounding. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Council," she began, her voice steady despite her nerves. "Humanity has faced significant challenges in adapting to the complex communication methods used in this Orvis body. Today, we offer a solution that we believe will not only solve this problem, but also open new avenues for interspecies understanding." With a nod to her team, Amelia activated the Babel implant. Immediately, she felt a strange sensation as the device interfaced with her nervous system. Suddenly, she was aware of a symphony of communication happening around her: pheromone signals, subtle body language cues, and even faint telepathic impressions. "Can you understand me now?" Amelia asked, directing her thoughts towards the Centurion High Counselor. The alien's eyes widened in surprise. "Remarkable," came the telepathic reply. "Your thoughts are as clear as any Centurion's." Excited murmurs filled the chamber as Amelia demonstrated the device's capabilities, seamlessly communicating with representatives from various races. The Vorkax representative, initially skeptical, chittered in amazement. "You can interpret our pheromone signals? Impossible." Amelia smiled. "Not impossible, merely a challenge we had to overcome. This device allows us to participate fully in council proceedings while respecting the diverse communication methods of all member races." As the demonstration concluded, there was a palpable shift in the chamber's atmosphere. Many of the alien representatives who had been wary of humanity's inclusion now looked at Amelia and her team with newfound respect. High Counselor Zixara stepped forward, her eyes swirling with what Amelia now recognized as approval and excitement. "Dr. Chen, you and your team have demonstrated the very qualities that led us to welcome humanity into the Galactic Council. Your ingenuity, adaptability, and commitment to fostering understanding are commendable." The High Counselor turned to address the entire chamber. "Let this be a lesson to us all. True strength lies not in biological advantages or technological superiority, but in the willingness to bridge differences and find common ground. Humanity has shown us that there are always new solutions to old problems, if we are willing to think creatively." In the days that followed, the Babel implant became a sensation throughout the council races. Many non-human diplomats requested versions adapted for their own physiologies, eager to experience the expanded communication it offered. Earth's standing in the galactic community improved dramatically. Human diplomats were sought after for their fresh perspectives and problem-solving abilities. The exchange of scientific knowledge accelerated as the communication barriers fell away. But Amelia knew that this was just the beginning. As she prepared for a new round of negotiations, now armed with the ability to fully participate in all aspects of council communication, she couldn't help but wonder what other challenges and opportunities lay ahead. The universe, it seemed, was full of possibilities, and humanity was ready to explore them all. The Plague Crisis. 6 months after the successful implementation of the Babel implant, Earth's position in the Galactic Council had strengthened considerably. Dr. Amelia Chen, now serving as Earth's senior ambassador, found herself at the center of numerous interstellar negotiations and cultural exchanges. However, the relative peace was about to be shattered by an unprecedented crisis. It began with reports from the outer colonies of the Arcturian Empire. A strange illness was spreading rapidly among their population, causing severe neurological symptoms and a disturbingly high mortality rate. Within weeks, similar outbreaks were reported in Vorkax hives and on Centurion worlds. Amelia was in the middle of a trade negotiation when the emergency alert came through her Babel implant. The council was being convened immediately to address the growing pandemic. As she hurried to the council chambers, Amelia's mind raced. A disease that could affect such physiologically diverse species was unheard of. Whatever this was, it posed a threat to the entire galactic community. The council chamber was in chaos when she arrived. Representatives from affected worlds were demanding action, while others called for immediate quarantine measures. The Vorkax representative was particularly agitated, his exoskeleton clicking furiously as he spoke. "The Vorkax Imperium demands immediate assistance. Our hives are dying by the millions." High Counselor Zixara raised her hands, calling for order. "Please, we must approach this crisis calmly and rationally. Ambassador Chen, Earth has remained unaffected so far. What insights can your people offer?" All eyes turned to Amelia. She took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts. "While Earth has not yet seen cases of this illness, we have extensive experience dealing with pandemics. Our first priority should be to establish a unified response team, pooling the medical and scientific expertise of all council races." She paused, looking around the chamber. "We need to understand what we're dealing with before we can fight it effectively. I propose we set up research stations on affected worlds with mixed teams of scientists from various species. This will allow us to study the disease from multiple perspectives." The proposal was met with a mix of approval and skepticism. Some representatives worried about the risk of further spreading the disease, while others saw it as their best chance at finding a cure. After hours of heated debate, a compromise was reached. Research stations would be established, but under strict quarantine protocols. Earth, given its unaffected status and advanced medical technology, would play a key role in coordinating the galactic response. As the meeting adjourned, Amelia felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. The fate of countless beings across the galaxy now depended on their ability to solve this medical mystery. Over the next few weeks, Amelia worked tirelessly to organize the interspecies research teams. She called in favors from Earth's top virologists, epidemiologists, and xenobiologists. Among them was Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a brilliant researcher known for her groundbreaking work on cross-species viral transmission. The challenge, Dr. Tanaka explained during a briefing, is that this pathogen seems to be able to adapt to wildly different physiologies. It's like nothing we've ever seen before. Reports from the affected worlds grew increasingly dire. The disease, now dubbed nexus fever, due to its ability to create neural connections between infected individuals of the same species, was spreading faster than anyone had anticipated. Amelia spent long hours in holographic conferences with research teams scattered across the galaxy. The Babel implant proved invaluable, allowing her to understand complex medical terminology across multiple alien languages. 1 month into the crisis, a breakthrough came from an unexpected source. A joint Vorkax human research team on Arcturus IV discovered that the pathogen was not a traditional virus or bacteria, but a form of self-replicating nanomachine. It's artificial, Dr. Tanaka reported, her holographic image flickering with excitement. Someone engineered this thing. It's designed to infiltrate neural pathways and rewrite them, creating a kind of hive mind within each species. The implications were staggering. This wasn't just a pandemic, it was an attack. But who would have the technology and motivation to unleash such a weapon? As Amelia prepared to present these findings to the Council, tensions within the galactic community reached a boiling point. Accusations flew between member races, each suspecting the others of being behind the attack. The Vorkax, in particular, were calling for military action against potential enemies. "We cannot stand idly by while our people suffer," the Vorkax ambassador chittered, his mandibles quivering with rage. "If the Council will not act, the Imperium will." Amelia knew she had to act fast to prevent the situation from spiraling into all-out war. She called for an emergency session of the Council, using every ounce of her diplomatic skill to keep the proceedings civil. "Members of the Council," she began, her voice steady despite the tension in the room. "We now know that nexus fever is not a natural occurrence, but a manufactured weapon. However, assigning blame at this point will only hinder our efforts to find a cure." She paused, making eye contact with each representative. "I propose we pool our resources and form a unified task force. We need our best minds working together, not against each other. Only by combining our unique strengths can we hope to overcome this threat." The chamber fell silent as the representatives considered her words. Finally, High Counselor Zixara spoke. "Ambassador Chen is right. We cannot allow fear and suspicion to divide us. All in favor of forming a unified response team." One by one, the representatives signaled their agreement. Even the Vorkax, after a moment's hesitation, gave their assent. With the Council's backing, Amelia wasted no time in assembling the task force. The next few weeks were a blur of activity as research facilities were established, data was shared, and theories were tested and discarded. The breakthrough they needed came from an unlikely collaboration between a Centurion psychic healer and a human quantum physicist. They discovered that the nanomachines responded to specific quantum frequencies, which could potentially be used to deactivate them. As the research team worked to develop a treatment based on this discovery, Amelia couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something crucial. The question of who created nexus fever and why remained unanswered. Her suspicions were confirmed when Dr. Tanaka made a disturbing discovery. Hidden within the nanomachine's code was a signature, a kind of digital fingerprint that pointed to an origin outside known space. "Whatever created this," Dr. Tanaka explained, her face grave, "it's not from any civilization we know. The technology is beyond even the most advanced Council races." The implications sent shockwaves through the galactic community. They were not alone in the universe, and their unknown neighbors were clearly hostile. As Amelia prepared to present these findings to the Council, she knew that the galaxy stood at a crossroads. The Nexus Fever crisis had brought the member races closer together than ever before, but it had also exposed them to a threat beyond anything they had imagined. The coming days would determine not just the fate of those infected, but the future of galactic civilization itself. And humanity, the newcomers to this cosmic stage, found themselves at the center of it all. Amelia took a deep breath, straightened her uniform, and stepped into the council chamber. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she was determined to face them head-on. The universe had just become a much larger and more dangerous place. Human ingenuity. The Galactic Council chamber was silent as Amelia concluded her presentation on the true nature of Nexus fever and its potential extraterrestrial origin. The faces of the alien representatives, or their equivalent sensory organs, showed a mix of fear, disbelief, and grim determination. High Counselor Zixaro was the first to speak, her telepathic voice resonating with concern. This revelation changes everything. We face not just a pandemic, but potentially a prelude to invasion. Ambassador Chen, given Earth's unique position and the contributions your people have already made, what do you propose as our next steps? Amelia felt the weight of countless lies resting on her next words. She took a deep breath, her mind racing through possibilities. We need to approach this on multiple fronts, she began. First, we must accelerate our efforts to develop a cure based on the quantum frequency discovery. Second, we need to establish a task force to investigate the origin of this attack. And third, we must prepare our defenses in case this is indeed a prelude to something larger. The council erupted into discussion, with various representatives offering resources and voicing concerns. Amelia noticed the Vorkax representative, usually aggressive and distrustful of other species, nodding in agreement with her proposals. As the meeting adjourned, Amelia received an urgent message from Dr. Tanaka. "We've made a breakthrough," the holographic image of the scientist said, her eyes bright with excitement. "But we need more help. Can you get us access to the Arcturian quantum labs?" Within hours, Amelia had negotiated an unprecedented level of scientific cooperation between council races. The Arcturians opened their advanced quantum research facilities to a mixed team of human, Centurion, and Vorkax scientists. The Vorkax, experts in biotechnology, provided their latest nanotech research. The Centurions offered their unparalleled computing power and psychic insights. At the heart of this collaboration was the human team led by Dr. Tanaka. They brought a unique perspective, combining Earth's diverse scientific traditions with a knack for unconventional problem-solving. Days blurred into weeks as the research team worked around the clock. Amelia split her time between coordinating the scientific efforts, briefing the council, and managing the growing panic across affected worlds. The breakthrough came on a day when hope was wearing thin. Dr. Tanaka's team, building on the quantum frequency discovery, had developed a prototype device that could potentially deactivate the Nexus fever nanomachines. "It's a quantum pulse generator," Dr. Tanaka explained to Amelia and the gathered council representatives. "It emits a specific frequency that disrupts the nanomachines without harming organic tissue. But here's the clever part. We've integrated Vorkax biotech to make it self-replicating and Centurion psychic amplifiers to boost its range." The device was a perfect symbol of their collective efforts, a fusion of technologies from across the galaxy, sparked by human innovation. Initial tests on infected tissue samples were promising, but the real challenge lay ahead. They needed to test it on living subjects, and time was running out. Millions were infected, and the death toll was rising by the hour. In a move that shocked the council, the Vorkax ambassador volunteered his people for the first live trials. "Our hives are the most heavily affected," he chittered. "We have the most to gain and the least to lose. Let us be the first." The trials were a tense affair. Amelia, Dr. Tanaka, and a team of multi-species scientists gathered in a quarantined Vorkax hive chamber. The infected Vorkax, their exoskeletons dulled by the disease, lay motionless as the device was activated. For several agonizing minutes, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly, the Vorkax began to stir. Their clouded compound eyes cleared, and their mandibles began to click in their species equivalent of relieved laughter. The device worked. News of the successful trial spread across the galaxy at FTL speeds. Worlds that had been on the brink of collapse dared to hope again. The Council unanimously voted to begin mass production and distribution of the cure immediately. But even as billions of quantum pulse generators were being manufactured and shipped to affected worlds, Amelia couldn't shake a sense of unease. They had won this battle, but the larger war was just beginning. Her concerns were validated when Dr. Tanaka made another startling discovery. Hidden deep within the deactivated nanomachines was a trove of data, star charts, technical specifications, and what appeared to be battle plans. "It's not just a weapon," Dr. Tanaka said, her voice grim. "It's a scout. These nanomachines were gathering intelligence on our worlds, our technologies, our defenses. Whoever sent them was preparing for something big." Amelia immediately called an emergency council session to share this information. The chamber was thick with tension as she laid out the evidence. "We've cured the Nexus fever," she concluded, "but we've only revealed a greater threat. An unknown, technologically superior force is gathering intelligence on us, likely in preparation for some form of hostile action." The council exploded into chaos. Some representatives called for immediate military mobilization, others for attempts at peaceful contact. A few even suggested surrendering preemptively to avoid destruction. Amelia raised her voice above the din. "We cannot afford to panic or act rashly. Yes, we face a grave threat, but we've also shown what we can achieve when we work together." The cure for Nexus fever wasn't developed by any one race. It was a galactic effort, sparked by human innovation, but made possible by all of our unique strengths. She paused, making eye contact with each council member. "I propose we take that spirit of cooperation further. Let's form a galactic defense initiative. We'll pool our military resources, our scientific knowledge, our unique abilities. We'll face this threat as a united galaxy, not as separate, vulnerable worlds." High Councillor Zixara's eyes swirled with approval. "Ambassador Chen's proposal has merit. We are stronger together than apart. All in favor." One by one, the council members signaled their agreement. Even the traditionally isolationist races recognized the need for unity in the face of this unknown threat. As the session adjourned, Amelia felt a mix of pride and trepidation. Humanity, the newcomers to the galactic stage, had played a crucial role in not only curing a pandemic, but in forging a new era of cooperation. Yet the challenges ahead were daunting. She turned to Dr. Tanaka, who had been granted special permission to attend the council session. "We've got a lot of work ahead of us, Yuki. We need to understand this alien technology, track its origin, and prepare for potential conflict, all while keeping the peace between council races." Dr. Tanaka nodded, a determined glint in her eye. "We're up against something we've never encountered before, but that's where humanity excels, isn't it? Facing the unknown, adapting, overcoming. We brought our best traits to the galaxy, and now the galaxy is counting on us to help lead the way." As they left the council chamber, Amelia's mind was already racing with plans and possibilities. The galaxy was entering a new age, one of unprecedented cooperation, but also of looming threat, and humanity, for better or worse, was at the center of it all. The Nexus fever crisis had been averted, but a greater challenge lay ahead. As Amelia prepared for the mammoth task of coordinating the new Galactic Defense Initiative, she couldn't help but wonder, were they ready for what came next? Galactic Cooperation. The newly formed Galactic Defense Initiative, GDI, headquarters buzzed with activity. Located on a previously uninhabited world at the heart of Council space, it had quickly become a melting pot of species and ideas. Dr. Amelia Chen, now serving as Earth's representative to the GDI, marveled at the sight of humans working alongside aliens of all shapes and sizes. In the months since the Nexus fever crisis, the galaxy had undergone a dramatic transformation. Old rivalries had been set aside in the face of a common threat. The mysterious force behind the nanomachine attack had yet to reveal itself, but its shadow loomed large over every decision and action. Amelia made her way to the central command center for the daily briefing. The room was a marvel of cooperative engineering, with interfaces designed to accommodate the various physiologies of council races. At the center stood a massive holographic display, currently showing a map of known space with potential threat vectors highlighted. "Good morning, everyone," Amelia began, her words instantly translated by the advanced version of the Babel technology. "Let's start with the latest intelligence reports." A Centurion analyst stepped forward, her crystalline form shimmering under the lights. "We've detected unusual energy signatures in the Omega Quadrant," she reported, her telepathic voice clear in everyone's minds. "They match the quantum frequency of the Nexus Fever nanomachines, but on a much larger scale." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Admiral Psak-Thar, a grizzled Vorkax veteran, clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. "Could be a staging area for an invasion force. We should send a recon team immediately." Amelia nodded, her mind racing. "Agreed, but we need to be cautious. If this is indeed our mysterious adversary, we can't risk alerting them to our awareness." She turned to the holographic image of Dr. Tanaka, who was joining from her research facility on Earth. "Yuki, any progress on reverse engineering the alien tech?" Dr. Tanaka's image flickered as she brought up a series of complex diagrams. "We're making headway, but it's slow going. This technology it's like nothing we've ever seen. It doesn't just surpass our current understanding. It seems to operate on principles we haven't even conceived of yet." The briefing continued, with reports from various departments: strategic planning, weapons development, diplomatic outreach to non-council races. Throughout it all, Amelia couldn't help but feel a sense of pride in how far they'd come. The cooperation she saw around her would have been unthinkable just a year ago. As the meeting adjourned, Admiral Psak-Thar approached Amelia. "A word, Ambassador Chen," he chittered, leading her to a quiet corner. "What's on your mind, Admiral?" Amelia asked, noting the Vorkax's agitated state. "I've been analyzing the battle plans we extracted from the nanomachines," he said, his compound eyes darting nervously. "There's something off about them. They're too perfect, too comprehensive. It's as if they knew exactly what our defenses and capabilities would be," Amelia finished, a chill running down her spine. The Admiral nodded grimly. "Precisely. I fear we may have a leak, or worse, a mole within the Council." The implications were staggering. If true, it meant their unknown enemy had eyes and ears within the highest levels of government. Amelia's mind raced, considering the possibilities and the potential fallout if this information became public. "We need to investigate this quietly," she said finally. "Assemble a small, trusted team. We'll need representatives from each major council race to avoid any accusations of bias." Over the next few weeks, Amelia split her time between coordinating the GDI's overt operations and overseeing the covert investigation into the potential security breach. The strain began to show, not just on her, but on the entire galactic community. Paranoia crept in, with species eyeing each other suspiciously, old grudges threatening to resurface. The situation came to a head during a routine council session. What started as a debate over resource allocation for the GDI quickly devolved into a shouting match, with representatives hurling accusations of betrayal and conspiracy. Amelia watched in dismay as months of careful diplomacy threatened to unravel. She caught High Councillor Zixara's eye, seeing her own concern mirrored in the Centurion's swirling gaze. Taking a deep breath, Amelia stepped into the center of the chamber. "Enough." Her voice rang out, amplified by the Babel system. The room fell silent, all eyes turning to her. "Look at us," she continued, her voice softer but no less intense. "This is exactly what our enemy wants. To sow discord, to turn us against each other. We've come too far to fall apart now." She gestured around the room, making eye contact with each representative. Yes, we face a threat unlike any we've encountered before. Yes, there may be traitors among us, but we cannot let fear and suspicion destroy what we've built. Amelia's words seemed to hang in the air, the tension in the room slowly dissipating. She pressed on, seizing the moment. I propose we take our cooperation to the next level. Total transparency between member races, shared command of our military forces, open borders for refugees if the worst should come to pass. We stand together or we fall alone. The chamber erupted in discussion, but this time, the tone was different. There was hesitation, yes, but also hope. One by one, the representatives signaled their agreement. As the session adjourned, High Counselor Zixara approached Amelia. That was quite a speech, Ambassador Chen. You've given us all something to think about. Amelia smiled warily. I just hope it's enough. We're running out of time. Her words proved prophetic. Just days later, long-range sensors detected a massive energy surge in the Omega Quadrant. Whatever was coming, it would reach Council space within weeks. The GDI kicked into high gear. Evacuation plans were drawn up for worlds in the potential path of invasion. Defense fleets were mobilized, incorporating ships and technology from all member races. On the fringes of known space, automated sensor buoys were deployed to provide early warning. Through it all, Amelia worked tirelessly, coordinating efforts across species and star systems. The investigation into the potential mole continued in the background, but with the imminent threat, it had taken a back seat to more pressing concerns. Finally, on a day that would be remembered in the annals of galactic history, the sensor buoys went dark. One by one, in a wave approaching Council space, they winked out of existence. In the GDI command center, alarms blared. Amelia stood before the central holographic display, watching as the wave of sensor failures approached. Beside her, Admiral Xakthar barked orders to the combined defense fleet. This is it, Amelia breathed, her heart pounding. Everything they had worked for, every alliance forged and technology developed, was about to be put to the test. As the wave of darkness reached the edge of Council space, Amelia sent out a galaxy-wide broadcast, her words translated into every language of every sentient species. People of the galaxy, the moment we have prepared for is upon us. An unknown force approaches, one that has already demonstrated its power and its hostility. But we are not defenseless. We are not alone. In these past months, we have forged bonds of friendship and cooperation that span the stars. Human and alien, we stand united. She paused, her voice growing stronger. Whatever comes through that darkness, know this. We will face it together. We will fight for our homes, our families, our very way of life, and we will prevail. As Amelia's words echoed across countless worlds, the first ships of the invading force emerged from the darkness. They were vast beyond imagining, their designs as alien as their intentions. The galaxy held its breath, poised on the brink of a war unlike any it had ever seen. In that moment, as the combined fleet of the Galactic Defense Initiative moved to intercept the invaders, species that had once been bitter enemies now flew side by side, united in a common cause. And at the heart of it all stood humanity, the newcomers who had, in the span of a few short years, helped to reshape the face of galactic civilization. As the first shots were fired, Amelia Chen closed her eyes briefly, sending a silent prayer to the stars. The battle for the future of the galaxy had begun. A new era. The battle raged across the stars, a conflict of unprecedented scale and ferocity. For weeks, the combined forces of the Galactic Defense Initiative clashed with the invading alien armada. Worlds burned, stars dimmed, and the very fabric of space-time trembled under the onslaught of weaponry beyond mortal comprehension. At the heart of it all, aboard the GDI flagship Unity, Dr. Amelia Chen worked tirelessly to coordinate the defense efforts. The ship's bridge was a cacophony of alerts, status reports, and frantic communications from across the battlefront. "We've lost contact with the Arcturian fleet in Sector 7, a young human ensign reported, her voice strained. Admiral Tzakthar chittered in frustration. "Redirect the Centurion's psychic course to provide support. We can't lose that flank." Amelia studied the holographic battle map, her mind racing. Despite their preparations, the invaders' technology was proving to be devastatingly effective. Conventional weapons barely scratched their hull, and their energy weapons cut through even the most advanced shields like paper. But there was hope. Dr. Tanaka's team, working round the clock, had made significant breakthroughs in understanding the alien technology. Using principles derived from the Nexus Fever nanomechines, they had developed a prototype weapon that could potentially turn the tide. "Admiral," Amelia said, her voice cutting through the chaos on the bridge. "We need to buy Dr. Tanaka more time. If her weapon works, we might have a chance to end this." Xakthar's compound eyes fixed on her. "What do you propose, Ambassador?" Amelia took a deep breath. "A direct assault on their command ship. We'll lead a small strike team to penetrate their defenses and gather critical intelligence. At the very least, it should divert their attention from Dr. Tanaka's team." The plan was audacious, bordering on suicidal. But with options running out and time running short, it was approved. Amelia found herself aboard a stealth shuttle, leading a diverse team of the galaxy's finest warriors and scientists towards the heart of the enemy fleet. As they approached the massive alien flagship, Amelia couldn't help but marvel at its otherworldly design. It seemed to defy the laws of physics, its surface shifting and rippling like liquid metal. "Remember," she addressed her team, "our primary objective is intelligence gathering. If we can understand their technology, their motives, we might find a way to end this war." The insertion was harrowing, their shuttle barely squeezing through gaps in the enemy's defense screen. As they docked with the alien vessel, Amelia's heart pounded. They were about to become the first beings in known space to set foot on this mysterious craft. The interior of the ship was as bizarre as its exterior. Corridors seemed to shift and realign themselves, and gravity fluctuated wildly. The team pushed forward, guided by readings from their advanced sensors. They encountered surprisingly little resistance, which only heightened Amelia's unease. It felt less like they were infiltrating and more like they were being led somewhere. Finally, they reached what appeared to be the ship's central chamber. As the doors slid open, Amelia gasped. The room was a vast, spherical space, its walls alive with swirling patterns of light and energy. At its center floated a being unlike anything she had ever seen or imagined. It was a creature of pure energy, its form constantly shifting between states of matter. When it spoke, it was not with words, but with concepts that bloomed directly in their minds. "Welcome, children of the galaxy," the entity communicated. "We have been waiting a long time for this moment." Amelia stepped forward, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "Who are you? Why have you attacked us?" The being's form rippled, and Amelia felt a wave of what could only be described as amusement. "Attacked? No, young one. We have not attacked you. We have tested you." Images flooded Amelia's mind. The creation of the Nexus Fever, the careful orchestration of events that led to the formation of the GDI, even glimpses of this very moment. You planned all of this." Amelia's mind reeled with the implications. "We are the precursors," the entity explained. "We seeded life throughout this galaxy years ago, nurturing it from afar. But we knew that one day we would need successors to safeguard the cosmos. We needed to know if you were ready." The revelation stunned the strike team into silence. Everything they had been through, the pandemic, the fear of invasion, the terrible losses in battle, had all been an elaborate test. Amelia's initial shock gave way to anger. Millions have died. Worlds have burned. How can you justify such suffering? The precursor's form pulsed with what felt like sadness. "The cosmos is vast and full of wonders, young one, but it is also home to terrors beyond your imagining. To survive, to thrive, you needed to be forged in fire. Unity born of diversity, strength tempered by compassion, innovation driven by necessity. These are the qualities that will allow you to face the true challenges that lie ahead. As if to underscore its words, the chamber around them shimmered, revealing views of distant galaxies, of cosmic phenomena beyond comprehension, and of shadowy threats lurking in the void between stars. You have passed our test, the precursor continued, not with perfect scores or flawless strategies, but with the one quality we valued above all else, the ability to adapt, to come together in the face of adversity. You are ready to take your place as guardians of the galaxy. With that, the being's form began to dissipate. We leave you now with a gift, knowledge. Use it wisely, for the mantle of responsibility is heavy. In a flash of blinding light, the precursor vanished. In its wake, Amelia and her team found themselves flooded with information, scientific theories, philosophical concepts, and technological blueprints far beyond their current understanding. As they stood there trying to process what had just occurred, Amelia's communicator crackled to life. It was Admiral Sakthar. Ambassador Chen, the enemy fleet, it's disappearing. What in the name of the hive is going on? Amelia looked at her team, seeing her own mix of confusion, awe, and trepidation mirrored in their faces. It's over, Admiral, she said softly. The war is over, but I have a feeling our real work is just beginning. In the days and weeks that followed, the galaxy struggled to come to terms with what had transpired. The revelation that the entire conflict had been a test was met with a range of emotions: anger, disbelief, relief, and for some, a sense of profound purpose. The Galactic Council convened in an emergency session that lasted for weeks. Amelia, along with her strike team, presented their experience and the gift of knowledge left by the precursors. We stand at a crossroads, Amelia addressed the council. We have been given an opportunity and a responsibility greater than anything we could have imagined. The question now is, what will we do with it? The debates were long and often heated. Some argued for using the new knowledge to advance their own species' interests. Others advocated for a cautious, measured approach to implementing the advanced technologies. In the end, it was a coalition led by humanity that proposed a path forward, drawing on Earth's long history of international cooperation and the hard lessons learned from its failures. They'd proposed the formation of a new galactic body, the Cosmic Custodianship. This new organization would be dedicated to the responsible development and implementation of precursor knowledge, the defense of the galaxy against external threats, and the continued fostering of cooperation between all sentient species. The proposal was accepted, and Amelia found herself named as the first director of the Cosmic Custodianship. As she stood before the assembled representatives of every known spacefaring race, she felt the weight of history on her shoulders. Today, we embark on a journey unlike any other, she began. We have been entrusted with the legacy of beings so advanced they seem like gods to us. But we must remember that they too were once as we are, curious, flawed, striving to understand their place in the universe. She paused, looking out at the sea of faces, human and alien alike. Our strength lies not in the knowledge we've been given, but in what we choose to do with it, in our diversity, our creativity, our capacity for both logic and emotion. We will face challenges we cannot yet imagine, but we will face them together. As Amelia's words echoed through the chamber and across the galaxy, a new era dawned. An era of unprecedented discovery and cooperation, of wonders and dangers beyond imagining. Humanity, once newcomers to the galactic stage, now stood at the forefront of this cosmic adventure. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, the precursors watched and waited, hopeful that their children would live up to the potential they had seen in them. The story of the galaxy, it seemed, was just beginning.